Yes, guys. Hello. Welcome back to another Spurs-related YouTube video and podcast. I hope everyone is doing very, very well today. Today, we have got another transfer update video for you guys, and we're talking all things transfers and all things pre-season recap after the pre-season game today against West Ham United in Perth, Australia. Today, I'm joined alongside Ange of Spurs-related, as always. And Andre, how are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm a little disappointed that we lost today, but I mean, there's more to it in the preseason than just the win, right? It's a time to sort of have every player show what they can do, and I'm definitely think there's a few points we'd like to cover.
Exactly that. We covered that. We obviously lost 3-2 today. It was on at 11 a.m. UK time, so a lot of people would have been working and wouldn't have seen it. So we're gonna get you guys caught up on what happened, who were the standout players. I watched the extended highlights earlier, and there was a lot of positives, even though we did lose. So hopefully I can make Ange and you guys watching feel a little bit better about that. But guys, if you could smash the thumbs up on this video, let's try and get 100 likes. Last video was just short, but I'm sure we can get 100 likes today. And of course, subscribe if you are new and comment below. There is the membership option if you do want to help support the channel. It is about £2 and it does go a long, long way. And we appreciate anyone that donates. But Andre, let's get into this and let's talk things pre-season now.
Perfect. So, I mean, I think the biggest thing that we can take away from all this stuff was, oh, shoot. There we go. Is mainly just that it felt like a game of two halves. More so in the sense that we played completely different in the first half versus the second half. The second half being where we actually almost made a comeback. And then, of course, in Tottenham Hotspur fashion, we let in another goal at the end, which was very disappointing. But to me, I think I would want to just mention Udogie. I think, at least for me, he really showed what he can do. And, it's nice that he got a goal. It's nice to see that.
Great goal as well.
Yeah.
I'll just explain the goal. Obviously, we can't show the goals for copyright reasons, guys, but basically, most of the goals in the game came from corners. Both of West Ham's goals were from corners, the first two, and then the third one was awful defending from Davinson Sanchez and co. The Tottenham goal, Udogie's goal, ball came in from a corner and he flicked it on backwards and it went top left-hand corner. It was perfect. He meant to do it. Really, really well executed, and he had a solid game when he was on in the second half as well. Because we changed the whole team in the second half, apart from the goalkeeper. So, Ange experimented with 10 changes there at halftime, and we actually probably did better in the second half, which was arguably our weaker team. First half, bright spells from Emmanuel Solomon was fantastic, cutting in from that left-hand side onto his right foot. Had a couple of really good shots, and just to let you guys know, we lost that game 3-2. West Ham had 4 shots. We had 30. 30 shots on goal. So, although it's disappointing defensively, we look massively, massively shaky still, especially from corners and set pieces. We actually created a lot of chances. Our XG would have been very, very high. And I know it's not all about that, but you compare that to Conte football, where it's been all defensive and we have these attacking players that aren't being utilized properly, is actually a very, very promising start. I know that's going to sound crazy to a lot of people, but I'm sure a lot of people watching understand what I'm saying. 30 shots. Yes, we only scored 2 goals. That would be my concern. What are the strikers doing? But also don't forget that we're actually pressing, we're putting pressure on the opponent, and we're creating a lot of chances in the final third, which we weren't doing under Antonio Conte, Stellini and Mason. So I'm actually very happy to an extent. Of course, it's disappointing to lose. West Ham had already played 2 preseason games before that, so you've got to put that factor in. We've only just got off the plane 2-3 days ago, and we've traveled however many hours to Australia across the other side of the world. I'm not trying to put excuses in, because I know a lot of people will be saying you're being very optimistic, James, and very positive. But actually, if you do look at the stats and you do look at some of the highlights, there is a few on our Instagram reels if you guys want to have a look. We actually were playing nice, almost like tiki-taka, fast-paced football, pass, and it was promising. So don't just say it's all negative. Like you said, Andre, 3-2, we've lost, I'm a bit disappointed. Genuinely have a little look at the game and you will be pleasantly surprised.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's. I did start by saying I was disappointed, but it's a preseason game. You don't go in there with the whole intention to just win, right? There's so many things to go about it. There's a whole other team that you can bring in, like we did, and you'll have surprises in there. Udoji, I mean, no one's really surprised, but it was more or less all of us were open to the idea that Udoji was going to come in and show what he could do, and that's what he did. So I'm very happy about that. But the not surprising thing being that our defense is just it needs some work overall. I mean, I've always said this when I see Davinson Sanchez on the pitch, I just shrug my shoulders that we're going to concede something. So I mean, there you go. There you go. And then Ben Davies, as you always say, paper over the cracks. But yeah, I mean, the stats themselves show that we've been doing that we've changed it up. 30 shots, that's really good. But obviously,
it was actually 32 shots in the end to Tottenham, 7 to West Ham, 13 on target for us. So obviously we've had 19 off target. That's a bit disappointing. But 73% possession. We would never, ever, ever, ever get that under Antonio Conte or Jose Mourinho. 73% possession. I want to see that. That's like Manchester City domination in terms of possession. 90% pass accuracy to West Ham, 73. 16 corners to 4. I take a lot of positives, even though we lost. I think if we started with that second team, genuinely would have won that game. But also, West Ham's third goal was awful. I mean, Scamacca, who isn't the quickest player, managed to get slipped through a back line of 4 that were just completely, unsynced to each other. Davinson Sanchez then couldn't catch him. I mean, hopefully, we won't be seeing most of that defense next season, obviously, but everything's gone a bit quiet on the defenders situation. A lot of people are asking us. There isn't really a considerable update on Van der Ven and Tapsoba. As soon as there is, of course, we'll bring you guys a video, but that would be my main concern. My main positive is we played well, attacking football, nice passing in the final third and good pressing. Negative is defensively, we are just horrendous. We really are. You can't. And the other thing is, and I don't want to slate him too much, but I don't think Vicario had a great start. He completely flapped at one of the first moments and gave away a corner, which then resulted in them scoring. So, listen, there is a lot of positives, but there is a couple of negatives as well. So let us know, guys, what you're thinking about our preseason game, because I'll be interested to hear what the SpursRelated were thinking about today's game. But Andre, let's move on.
Perfect. Sounds good to me. I mean, all I'll say is, yeah, I mean, I'm a little concerned about the defense. We're not hearing anything transfers-wise for that at the moment, which is concerning. Secondly, I know you just talked about Vicario, but I will say you could put the best goalkeeper in the world behind that defense, and it's going to be shaky. I'm telling you right now.
Like I said, I'm not singling Vicario out. It's just it wasn't his best ever. It wasn't the perfect start, And I wouldn't say all 3 goals are his fault either. It's just he gave away that corner for the Mbama goal from the corner. And then from that corner that he scored, by the way, there was 5 Tottenham defenders not marking anyone round him. And he was unmarked. He just headed it on, goal. And it's just like, how many times do we see that last season where none of our players were marking from set pieces? Basic stuff you get taught at grassroots level, and no one is marking them. But I'm going to get wound up if I keep talking about this defense. So let's move straight on.
Perfect. Sounds good. Sounds good to me. I mean, even Ange is saying that he's hoping that things get better on that defensive area, that they've been focusing on his style of football, and we've seen it. So that's great. However, let's move on now to some transfers, everyone. We've got Spurs wanting Gallagher. The Guardian has released sort of some news that we're sort of inquiring about him now. And I don't know about you, because I know that you were more of an Alex Scott guy over a Conor Gallagher guy. But yeah, it looks like we're inquiring for him. Apparently his future is sort of undetermined whether he'll be at Chelsea or not. But I've heard good things. You seem to not like him though.
Why are we talking about Conor Gallagher again? Number 1, we should be getting a defender first. At least 1, if not 2. Number 2, we need a number 6 as well. And why are we getting Conor Gallagher? Like, I just do not understand it. I mean, he's from Chelsea. I don't like buying from rivals. I don't think he's an absolute revolutionary player. He kind of plays the number 8 role okay. He did very well at Palace, to be fair to him. But at Chelsea, he's a walking yellow card as well. And he's not even that, genuinely, I know I'm going to get a lot of stick for this, but he's genuinely not even that much better than Ollie Skip. I really don't see what the hype is in getting this guy. Like, we could be linked with so many midfielders around the world, and we're linked with Conor Gallagher. I just do not understand it for the life of me. If we genuinely sign this guy, I will be so subdued, and I will say in front of this camera right now that I will not be happy with that signing, and that's just me being honest. But I'd like to know what you guys think as well in the chat. Let us know. Conor Gallagher, am I being too harsh on him? Would he be a good recruitment for Spurs? Or should we be avoiding buying from rivals, these sort of fringe players at Chelsea that are not really in their starting 11, but in the fringes and on the bench? I don't think we should be. And I just think this would be you've got to think through these signings. I don't want to keep hearing about Conor Gallagher and another winger. I want to hear about defenders. That's what's frustrated me in this window is we started well. We got a winger on a free, Manuel Salomon, who had a very promising game today. We got Vicario, who should be a decent keeper. And we've obviously got James Maddison, an incredible number 10. How many years have we needed a defender for? Two competent centre-backs and arguably the full-backs. The full-backs have given me a bit of positivity today. I thought Reguilon had a decent enough game going forwards. Going back, he's a bit more sketchy. And Udogie had a good game. And Perisic actually did all right when he came on. But centre-backs, we need that left centre-back. There's no secret there. Why we're talking about Conor Gallagher, I don't know. I know I've gone off on a bit of a tangent here, but guys, let us know what you're thinking. Conor Gallagher, yes or no? Andre, for you?
Oh, well, again, like I'll say, I personally think I'm not going to pretend like I know much about him other than the fact that in the stats wise, he got 84% pass completion last season. He's got a few goals in him. But you know what? I feel like your passion for how we need a defender is what I'm going to stick to, which is the fact that I'm very disappointed that these past few episodes we've been doing for everyone, we haven't had any more defender sort of news. We've just been talking about Kane, and we've been talking about one or two midfielders that we're interested in it again.
And the chat keeps going to us. What's happening with Van der Ven and Tapsoba? Guys, I have as much clue as you. Like, I would love to bring you news and say, yeah, we're closer to Van der Ven, but it's just gone quiet. I did a search on my phone earlier for Tapsoba and for Richie Romano. He hasn't talked about Tottenham and Tapsoba for 8 days. Are we just stopped talking to them? Have we decided that we're going to have Davinson Sanchez for the season and Eric Dyer? I mean, I will literally pull my hair out on a live stream if we genuinely have those two as our centre backs for the season. Like, it's genuinely got to the point where it's like, yeah, okay, maybe let's calm down a bit. We've got about 6 weeks left of the transfer window, but these players aren't just going to be waiting there on deadline day for us to come and swoop in like the normal Tottenham fashion. Why don't we sort it out? I'm pretty sure we heard Ange say, or someone said that Ange wanted a centre back before we went on pre-season. If I'm not mistaken, we haven't signed a defender yet. So what happened there? There's clearly something that's gone wrong. I hope we hear some more news, but yeah, listen, let's move on, Andre.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go about it before we both get very frustrated over the fact that, there's not much news going on in that defense and we need it. And that game has shown it. But I know we keep talking about him, but more news just keeps coming every day about Harry Kane, the transfer saga and whatnot. But now, since, I guess he's rejected a move to PSG yesterday, and, Bayern are trying their best to maybe get him. And I'm sure we'll have more news on that. Some clubs are actually preparing for if and when he becomes a free agent. And one of those is Barcelona, actually. So it's going to be a feeding frenzy if he goes on a free at the end of the year. And I know that Daniel Levy is very, very keen on making him sign a new contract rather than having him leave. Obviously, if Kane doesn't want to, it might be one of those situations where, as Charlie Eccleshare said, he doesn't want to be known for that. He doesn't want to be known for being the guy to have this amazing Tottenham legend leave for free. So he might have to start talking to Bayern, or it'll be a really, really crazy feeding frenzy to see who gets Harry Kane next season.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. The club's coming in for Harry Kane on a free in January, like signing him on a pre-contract in January, which is what clubs will do. almost securing his services ready for the summer of 2024. You've got Man United that would love him. You've got Liverpool. You've got Chelsea. You've got Man City if Haaland decides to go to Real Madrid potentially the next season. You've got Barcelona, like you said. You've even got Real Madrid. There is 7, 8, 9 clubs that would love Harry Kane. Or actually, every club would love Harry Kane. But realistically, there's 7, 8, 9 clubs that will come in for Harry Kane on this pre-contract, signing him on a free transfer. I mean, it might not even get to that stage. I would never, ever be surprised if Daniel Levy does offer him £400,000 a week, because he knows that he is the commercial side of Tottenham as well as Sonny, of course, and he is the glue of Tottenham Hotspur, and he is our best ever player for the last God knows how long. But at the same time, what's Harry Kane thinking? Does he want to sign for Tottenham and be a club legend and potentially not ever win anything, or does he want to win trophies? Only he knows that. Only that man there in that photo knows that in his head what he wants to do. Does he want to be like an Alan Shearer and be known as breaking the all-time Premier League record, or does he want to be known as a player that had to move to Bayern Munich to get a cheap trophy, or PSG to get a cheap trophy, or does he want to be that player that breaks Tottenham's record as he already has, England's record that he already has, the Premier League record that he already has, and then maybe go on to win like an FA Cup or something with Man United or Liverpool? Who knows what he's thinking? There is 3 or 4 choices here, but if I'm Harry Kane, and this is me being brutally honest, I genuinely would probably stay another year and then consider the 400k. And if I genuinely want trophies, I would probably try and move to a Man United or something like that. As much as that hurts me to say, Man United are probably in a better position, especially if they have a financial takeover, to go on to win Premier Leagues and FA Cups. Whereas Tottenham, we know the cycle. Unless we get a takeover and we start spending big, big money competing with Manchester City and Chelsea and eventually Man United, we're going to fall behind. And Harry Kane is going to go to a team that has more ambition and more money. And that's just genuinely how it works with football.
It's really sad to have to agree with you on it. And I mean, if he could see the future and see that Tottenham will win some sort of FA Cup or something with him in the squad as the captain, he would take it. But unfortunately, all that he's been shown is that Tottenham will not win something. And every time a project seems even just a little bit off, we sack the manager. Again, we'll go back to the Jose Mourinho thing where he was sacked before a final. I think we could have won that. And regardless of how that season went, that trophy would have made up for it, because we are not above any trophy right now. We haven't won a single thing since 2008, apart from the Audi Cup, which I'm not counting.
Well, that's just a pre-season cup. Yeah, we haven't won anything since 2008, and that was a League Cup. And then before that, we're talking 1991, the FA Cup. So, I mean, we're talking a 17-year gap there, and now we're talking a 15, 16-year gap. I mean, technically, if you go by the gaps, 1991 to 2008, we're talking a 17-year gap. And then we talk about 2008 to 2023, 15-year gap. The pattern shows that we should win something in the next 2 years, but we know that actually at the moment we are very far off winning a trophy. And I think the closest we did come was obviously that Champions League final and the Carabao Cup. But there we go. Let us know what you guys think on Harry Kane's future. Let us know what you think about that news. And of course, the secret word, I'm doing it right at the end of this video, is Kane in capitals, Kane. Smash the subscribe button, guys. If you're not, we're so close to 2K. Smash the like and comment below that keyword. And as always, guys, remember, COYS!